You're listening to Northwoods Church Matters, a podcast of Northwoods Church in Evansville, Indiana, where we discuss why the local church matters and things that matter to the local church. I'm your host, Matt Higgins. Hey guys, welcome back to the Northwoods Church Matters podcast. I am here virtually with our lead pastor, Bobby Pell. We are currently Zooming with one another, and so Bobby has not come into the office. Bobby is at home, and Bobby currently is coronavirus quarantined. So, Bobby, how are you feeling, first of all?
Pretty good. As I cough, pretty good. My first couple of days were rough, 101, 102 fever, and just generally it was rough. I'm now got a cough and out of my chest and some shortness of breath. Working on that, trying to improve that best I can. And today's the first day I've lost taste today. Nothing tastes right, but in general, I'm okay. I've just got to, get through these next few days, and Lord willing, I'm supposed to be through my quarantine Sunday night. I'll be done, and so Lord willing, I'll be through at that point.
What everybody wants to know is Amy taking good care of you?
Oh, Amy takes great care of me.
Awesome. Have you changed out of sweatpants yet?
Sweatpants, I am still in.
Good for you. And you probably watched everything on Netflix by now.
Not Netflix, but Hallmark. Me and Hallmark are still tight.
Oh, that's right. It's Hallmark season. Have the Christmas movies started yet?
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Bobby is the number one Hallmark Christmas movie aficionado at Northwoods Church. He knows them all. He's seen them all. So, Bobby, why don't you give us just a summary of what's going on with COVID in our community and at our church?
In our community, COVID is as worse as it has ever been. Our hospitals are fuller than they have ever been, and that includes during the time when we were on shutdown. This is a very bad time as it relates to COVID for the city of Evansville, and I would really encourage our people to be praying for our city, just the healthcare workers. Let's care for each other. This is an opportunity for us to do that. The church has just gone through the death of Justin. Justin Reber passed away at the age of 39 with COVID. We had his funeral last week. Mike and Kathy Roberts have COVID. Mike and Kathy, for those of you who don't know them, they're the people who have been cleaning our bathrooms on Sunday morning. They're our janitors. I have COVID, and Marvin has COVID. Marvin was diagnosed first of this week. Waiting on, I think there's one more test that's out there of someone else who could have COVID that I know about. Outside of that, all of the other tests that people have taken, including yours, have come back negative. We praise God for that.
I know there's been a lot of people that have been asking me. So I'm COVID negative right now. Ask me again next week. It could be different.
Well, that would be true for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in one of those situations, and you've heard me say this before, Matt. I felt like COVID was something that ultimately I would get. I never wanted to get it, but I felt like it would happen at some point in time or another, just because I'm around a lot of people. Because it's now so prevalent in our community, I could have gotten this was something related to the funeral last week. I also could have gotten this because there's so many COVID circumstances going on in the city of Evansville. There are all kinds of options. So those things are out there.
For pastors, we're some of the people that are most at risk to get it because part of our job is just dealing with people. Right. We can't do our job without dealing with people. A church is not an empty building. At some point, sooner or later, we're probably going to get COVID. Based on that, Bobby, what's going to be happening on Sunday?
We feel like that the safest, most prudent thing for Northwoods is to be online only again. One of the things that's going to do is everyone who's in quarantine will be out of quarantine by the following Sunday. That's going to put us in a good situation. So in other words, by November the 22nd, everyone who's in quarantine right now will be COVID-free. For us to be in a situation where no one's having to look around and go, okay, so do you have COVID? Do you have COVID? Do you have COVID? For us to, Lord willing, be in a situation that everyone's COVID-free, that's a good situation. And so this coming Sunday, we will go back and do what we did last Sunday, which means at 9:15, we are online only, and we will not have a live service at 8 o'clock, nor our late service.
Bobby, how long are we going to be doing 3 services just to do proper social distancing in the church for worship services?
Well, it's still temporary. Initially the plan was to do this through November. The goal is to give us space in order for people to be able to spread out, knowing that the community right now has so many cases, it would be unwise for us to go back to 2. So what we have now done is saying, rather than the last Sunday of November being the end of 3 services, we are extending it to the 3rd Sunday of December, which is the last Sunday before Christmas. And our prayer is that we will, as a community, be in a safer place by then. We're simply extending right now the boundary, if you would, of how long we're going to have 3 services through the 3rd Sunday of December.
Let me ask a question which I think is on the hearts of people out there. Is coming to church safe for people?
I believe that it's as safe as it is going anywhere else. If you're going out in public, it's safe. We have wear mask in, wear mask on the way out. We have you can only take your mask off seated in a safe, socially distanced space. There's nothing that says that you can't keep your mask on the entire time. And so I would just say, yes, it is safe. And I think what happens, like even now, I think people may hear about what's going on with me or Marvin or others. And I think it's one of the reasons why I think this podcast matters is we can turn 4 cases into 10. And I want us to be in a situation where we call what it is. We need to be in a situation where we admit this is what's going on and then go forward from there.
Yeah, and if there's any lack of safety, it's primarily for your pastors because, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, we're dealing with people. It's not like our job is to go count widgets or work on a computer or something that we can do remotely. When somebody dies, we have to go love on the family, and that's biblical, and we're going to do that. A few weeks ago, I was asked to go to the hospital to be with somebody that was dying. There wasn't a lot of people that were being allowed into the hospital at that time, but I went, and it was kind of weird going to a hospital where nobody was there, but I gladly went. But that is all to say that your pastors are on the front lines here, and we're doing it for the sake of Christ. There's no regret on my part, and I'm probably not on your part, Bobby. So we're just at some point in time, we're higher likely to get COVID. But our worship services, we believe, are safe because we're doing social distancing. We're doing mask requirements. If you want to help, wear a mask.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say what you just said, which is that for me, those moments, they're blessings. Ministering to Heather and Becca and Mike and Kathy, when people are in grief, and for us to minister together as a church, those are blessings. When we are called to go to the hospital because someone is passing away, that's a wonderful opportunity for us as ministers to not only communicate the grace and gospel of the Lord, but to be a demonstration of the grace and gospel of the Lord. Neither of us are calling ourselves martyrs, but it's just one of those situations here that let's recognize these are unusual days and go forward. I do want to say this, that when we go to online worship, that doesn't mean we've canceled our worship. We've gone to online worship. And so what this is right now is a call to the church to, at 9:15 on Sunday, we're worshiping together online. And so let's worship together online this coming Sunday at 9:15. If you can't be there at 9:15, okay, then come back at 10:45 when it's posted. But let's worship together and recognize that we are not canceling worship this coming Sunday.
As people hear us discussing this, I think people should understand that your pastors are not putting themselves in harm's way for dumb reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The gospel is important, and we're taking a calculated risk to advance the gospel. And we're trying to assess whether the risk is worth it, what we should do based on the risk, because there is a cost to follow Christ. There is a cost to go share the gospel. Last week, we went to Wyoming together, and I had a bunch of people ask me, you dummy, why are you going to do that in the middle of a pandemic? Well, the gospel is important. There's more sheep than people in Wyoming, so we probably came into contact with a lot less people than usual in Wyoming than here in Indiana. Two other miscellaneous things to talk about. First is Operation Christmas Child. We had the due date for that last Sunday, and then we moved it to this upcoming Sunday. So since we're going virtual only again this Sunday, what are people going to do with those shoe boxes?
We're asking if you would to take them around the corner from our church to Christian Fellowship Church and drop them off there. And what that will mean is whatever the money that you would normally use for shipping, either put it in as cash or you can write a check to Samaritan's Purse. That is our request. Our request is you can take that when their office is open there, and I know they're open Monday through Friday, but I would encourage you to just take your shoebox and just drop it off there.
Yeah, and we're going to post the drop-off information. CFC is the collection site for our area, and so with our office running the way that it's running right now, it's just easier for y'all to go around the corner and to drop it off there and cut us out as the middleman. So second question, missions offering. So we do an annual missions offering to support various missions projects. This year's missions offering will go support our Wyoming missions efforts that we talked about last Sunday during the worship service. How's the missions offering going? What can people do to help?
Let me be positive and also try to pull us up a little bit. Positively, a year ago, the church had a $45,000 goal, and they have given more than that. They have given $47,000 in less than 52 weeks. And all of that money, as it comes in, is allocated towards missions. That is just a huge, hoorah for the heart of Northwoods Church. On the other end of things, because of last Sunday and this Sunday being online, the concern I have is we have these pledge cards that now you can do that online, but we're getting very few pledge cards, like one. Very few pledge cards to understand, is it your heart to give throughout the year, which is the way some people give. Some people give, whether it be $50 a month, $200 a month, $500 a month, whatever, throughout the year, above and beyond their offering for missions. And they just mark on there. And they're letting us know, this is my pledge towards missions for Northwoods Church. Some people give a one-time gift on the Sunday before Thanksgiving, November 22nd. That person doesn't need to turn in a pledge. They're just going to do the gift. And so please be praying about what you're giving or what you're pledging. And whatever you're doing, please let us know. But our ability to do missions is the ability of Northwoods Church's heart to do missions. And that's us. We're Northwoods Church. We need to determine what we are going to do in this strange day of online worship. It doesn't change the fact that now a week from Sunday, we're having the offering. The pledges can come in now, but the pledges can also come in on that Sunday. So I just really want to plead with the church. You can fill out the pledge online if that's what you're going to do, but let us know and be praying. Let's have a heart of giving towards missions.
Amen. Well, we hope you join us for virtual worship on Sunday. I'm sure it's going to be a great experience. And until then, Bobby, we'll let you go back to watching your Hallmark movies. Do you have a favorite Hallmark movie?
Oh, they're all good.
Oh, they're all good. They're all the same, though.
The truth is the guy always kisses the girl an hour and 58 minutes, and there's fake drama at about 30 minutes before it's done.
The same plot for everyone. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to the Northwoods Church Matters podcast. If you'd like to find out more about Northwoods Church, you can visit us at our website, www.northwoodschurch.org. Again, that's www.northwoodschurch.org.